This is the Kitchen Sink WP podcast, episode 577.
I program my own computer.
We have a server crash, 404 error, page not found, links aren't working, system is crashing, system is crashing, system is crashing.
Your old HTML website, barely alive. We have the technology. We have WordPress. A new website, better than it was before. Better, stronger, faster. Why, hello everybody, this is Adam Thurley, host of the Kitchen Sink WP podcast. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. All right, upcoming events. We have one next weekend. We have Women's WordPress Day. This time it's down in Guatemala. It is on a single day event, March 22nd, 2025. In case you listen to this next year, you'll know it's not current. Anyway, so there's that. So if you're in that part of the world, you should go. I will not be attending. Okay, moving on. Segment 1 in the news. A handful of things to talk about here. First and foremost, WordPress 6.8 Beta 2 is now ready for testing. That's pretty cool. Of course, do not test this on a live site. Do this on a dev server. Because you never know. It's still a beta. Okay. Also, in the beta realm, apparently the vulnerability bounty has doubled during beta and RC, meaning release candidate, between beta 1 released on March 4th and the final release candidate, which is scheduled for April 8th. The monetary reward for reporting new unreleased security vulnerabilities has doubled. So I'll put a link to the show notes on that as well, so you can check that out. If you are looking to do that, you can make some money if you find something. So it's pretty cool, kind of neat. What else? Oh yeah, also in the news, Skype is shutting down. I meant to mention this last week, totally forgot. It looks like it's shutting down in May. I used to use Skype all the time when I would interview people for this podcast, but since, I guess in the last year or two, I moved it to Zoom for the most part. But Skype was bought, I'm not sure how long ago, by Microsoft. So Microsoft shutting it down, moving everybody over to Microsoft Teams. So yeah, I'll link to that in the show notes. There's a way you could actually, I guess, export your contacts and or some of your recordings if you paid for that service. I don't know. So, and lastly in the news, the plugin, what was it, all-in-one WP migration and backup plugin had a pretty bad vulnerability, affected 5 million websites. It has been patched. So if you're using that and you have not patched it, you're going to want to do that as soon as possible because that's not good. Apparently this vulnerability required no user authentication, making it much easier for an attacker to compromise the website. So that's not good. So, but it has been fixed. So if you're running that plugin, go ahead and update that. Yeah, so that's it in the news. Moving on now to segment 2, the meat potatoes. So it is now, as of this recording, 2 weeks away from the end of the first quarter of 2025, which is crazy to me in so many ways. And though I'm not sure how you're all feeling about things, I personally, not great. If nothing else, I like to be honest here, but in running a company, it's hard in any size. If you work for yourself, if you have a team, if it's medium size, large, it's just difficult. And obviously, I've talked about this in the past a little bit, feeling stuck, whether it's the business growth or the client work or motivation. Very common for us, small business owners, entrepreneurs, WordPress web agency owners to feel this way. So that being said, I'm working on trying a few new things. Whereas moving forward, I'm shifting from a mindset of frustration, which I have been feeling a lot lately, like over a year, to one of experimentation, adaptability, and momentum. Because I've realized being stuck, or that term stagnation, comes not just from external circumstances, but also from an internal resistance, the fear of failure, or even decision fatigue. Like, what do I do next? And what should I be working on? So with that, I'm going to offer you, I have 8 key takeaways in the research I've done here and kind of notes I've compiled. So 8 takeaways for entrepreneurs, small business owners, to kind of help you move into a new mindset, a new way of trying things out. Okay. In no specific order, as I always say, but here we go. Number 1, action over perfection. Now, don't wait for the perfect idea or time. Usually it's one or the other, but usually it's time. I need the perfect timing of something to work, right? Many agency owners, entrepreneurs, we get stuck overthinking the next move, launching a new service, changing pricing, niching down, et cetera, et cetera. So, it's just a matter, do you want to, the example being, of course, do you offer new maintenance plans? Do you want to do something different from, offer a new SEO, whatever it may be. It's overthinking things. So the mindset shift, done and improving is better than perfect and never launched. Okay. I thought it's pretty good there. So I'm pretty happy with that line myself. Okay. Number 2, reframe the narrative. Stuck versus transitioning. Instead of saying my agency isn't growing, try I'm in a phase of refining my business model. Okay, because the WordPress freelancer here, the example would be feeling stuck down doing low margin projects is the example. Instead of seeing this as a failure, recognize it as the shift to higher value clients or reoccurring revenue. And then of course, the mindset shift quote here would be, this is not the end, it's a pivot point, okay? Just because you're not charging enough doesn't mean you can't pivot to charge more and find more high value clients, okay? Number 3, micro wins build momentum, small steps lead to big leaps. Okay, I like this one a lot. Overwhelm often keeps businesses and business owners from taking action. Instead of trying to scale, and I use air quotes there, focus on one small meaningful improvement daily. Just one per day. The example would be, if client leads are slow, commit to outreach 1 email per day. Instead of waiting for referrals, make it happen for yourself, right? The mindset shift here, progress compounds, even if we start small. And we know this is true in other places as well. Financially, put money in early, compounded interest. Exercise, get out every day, do the 10,000 steps. You're going to get in shape. Just takes time. Same thing in business, okay? Okay, number 4, change the input. Shift your environment and learning sources. Now, I know I need this a lot, apparently more than I realize. This is one of the strong ones for me. But if you're feeling uninspired, which I often have lately, you might be consuming the same business advice over and over. If it's the same advice in a podcast format, even my own, take a break, change your inputs. Instead of listening to one WordPress podcast, get some insight from others. But still come back to mine. I would appreciate that, honestly. But you never know where inspiration will come from. New perspectives create new possibilities. That's the mindset shift. Okay. Number 5, only a few more to go here. Number 5, accountability and community. You don't have to solve everything alone. This was hard for me to do and to hear from a friend recently as well, because isolation is a common struggle for us entrepreneurs. Having conversations with peers, mentors, mastermind groups, it really does help, and it breaks that cycle of feeling stuck. I often find clarity just by talking through things with other people. Now, it's the right people we need to talk to, because honestly, sometimes your partner in life, husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, may not be the right person. In my case, it's not. I've learned this. It doesn't matter how easy or hard it was, but I learned it, and that's fine. But find another place to find your community so you don't have to solve the problem alone. The mindset shift here, others have faced this challenge before me, and I can learn from them. Now, a mastermind would be great here, by the way. All right, number 6, curiosity over certainty. Explore before deciding. When stuck, it happens a lot. People often look for certainty before making a move, instead of adopting a curious mindset, which I think is a better choice here. The example, if you're unsure if your agency's focus on a niche, run a short-term experiment. Market one service to a specific industry for 3 months and then measure that result, okay? Because the mindset shift here would be, what if I explore this rather than needing an answer right now? Can we do this, do it well, make money, have a profit, have enough margin, etc.? It doesn't have to be forever. Just try it out, make an experiment. And we'll come back to that word a little bit here later. Number 7, physical movement helps. Step away to gain clarity. Now, I know this is so true. Mental blocks often clear up when you step away from the desk. The big breakthroughs I get more often than not on a run for me. Some people during a walk, doing dishes, driving, shower thoughts are a thing. People do that. So movement fuels momentum. That's the mindset shift. Physical movement will help. Step away and see if that helps you. And number 8, the last one here, identity check. Who do you need to become? Now, an often thing, being stuck, it's tied to identity. You see yourself as just a freelancer, and you might resist scaling, or you might see yourself as just a podcaster and nothing else. Or that's how other people see you as well, right? So what if you want to grow from a solo freelancer to the agency owner? What habits, skills, mindset shifts does that version of you have to be? What has to happen? And so the thought here would be to say to yourself, I can evolve into the business owner I want to be. So There you go. Those are the 8 that I've come up with. I'm trying to really focus on a whole bunch of them. Curiosity over certainty for sure. And then also not waiting for the right time. I mean, that's why I'm doing the other podcast, because you know what? There's no perfect time for any of this stuff. So again, number 1, action over perfection. Number 2, reframe the narrative. Number 3, micro wins, build momentum. Number 4, change the input. Number 5, accountability and community. Number 6, curiosity over certainty. Number 7, physical movement helps. And number 8, identity check. Okay, so for WordPress agency owners, freelancers, entrepreneurs, being stuck, it happens to us. It's usually a sign. It's not a stop sign. It's just a sign that something needs to shift. Whether it's your daily actions or your offer, something has to shift, right? The key is to take one small action today. It'll help you move forward. So that's what I have to offer you for this week. All right. If you want to add to this and have a conversation with me about it, I would love to talk to you. Let me know. Moving on, segment 3, tip and tool of the week. And this is what I want to mention, the word experiments. I'm mentioning a book, which I have not yet read, but I've heard the author on a few other podcasts, actually. The author is Anne-Laure Cunff. I believe she's French. The book is called Tiny Experiments, How to Live Freely in a Goal-Obsessed World. The book sounds really interesting. I plan on buying it myself or getting it from the library if it gets there sooner than later. And it's in my queue to read. So link in the show notes if you want to check that out. Tiny Experiments, How to Live Freely in a Goal-Obsessed World by Anne-Laure Cunff. So, all right, that's it for this week. If you have any questions, go ahead, send it in via email, adam@kitchensinkwp.com, or use that SpeakPipe function on the website. You can support me on the show by becoming a Patreon. You can buy me a coffee. Some places to do that on the website too. You can sponsor the show. There's a form, fill it out, get back to you. Don't forget to check out adamsilvershow.com. Coming out next month, I do believe. A couple episodes will drop. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Now go out and do some awesome things with WordPress. All right, bye-bye.